This is Tyler, and this is Courtney. Together we're making travel and lifestyle content called Over Everything, where we show you all of our over everythings, from food to dogs to nature and much, much more. Because for us, almost anything can be over everything. Last winter we spent 6 weeks in Mallorca, and here's what we did. We were staying in Santa Ponsa, which is a suburb outside of Palma de Mallorca, which you may be familiar with. It's one of the most famous big cities on the island. We had this gorgeous panoramic view, not too far from the place we were staying. We could walk there, so in the mornings and the evenings we'd take pretty much sunrise and sunset hikes, which was so nice and relaxing. About 15 to 20 minutes drive, we could walk in another little nice part of town where there are, we called them skeleton sheeps because they have the black eyes, like traditional skeleton drawings. So they were a little bit creepy, but they were super sweet. This trail was super mellow and mostly flat for a good part of the way. And then we drove up to the top of the hill to get tapas, and we had our first croquetas. My luggage was lost for the first 24 hours, so this is me picking it up. Note the heavy tags, never travel lightly, it's a rule of mine. Some mornings we'd venture further afield, and this was one of those mornings we went to Andratx. I'd never been here before. Tyler had visited before with boats he's been on, and I was overwhelmed. It was so beautiful, and in the winter it's super quiet. We had lunch in the port, and I'll link the restaurant in the description. That aioli was life-changing. We decided to go into the market in Palma, and right next to it is this bakery called Thomas's Bakery that makes incredible croissants.
As you may have realized, food is obviously one of our over everything, so a lot of this footage is food footage. For whatever reason, we forgot to bring or just didn't bring our vlog camera with us everywhere we went, so a lot of this is from my iPhone, and I've kind of made it work for this video's purpose, but yeah. Lots of good food was had over these 6 weeks. Don't worry, I'll link everything in the description. You'll also notice there's a lot of driving and hiking in this video. Mallorca is pretty big for a small island, and there's a lot of unsuspected hiking trails. So this first weekend we drove up to Soye and Binairaix, and we did one of the trails behind Binairaix, and I'll show you that route just now. This quickly became one of our favorite coffee and lunch spots, Bar Bodega in Binairaix. The owners are super friendly, and it's very dog and family friendly, and here's our first dog of the video. This time we came here, we got a nice scone and 2 espressos. You can see me knifing the scone there. This is the trail I'm talking about. Tyler's fueling up with water before we go and get started. We've done this trail 3 times now, and the first 2 times we tried, we got lost. Nice. Okay. Okay. Try it again. You're close. Take the backpack off. Yeah. Okay. Did you get it? Hey, let's see. Nice. Just hold it. Thank you. If you're with us on dog watch, this is dog number 2. She was a lovely farm doggy girl, and she loved scratches and gave very good kisses. We saw some incredible sunsets during our time on this little balcony at our house that we were staying in Santa Ponsa. This was before we went on date night to El Camino, which is one of the best tapas spots in the city. We got pan con tomate scallops and of course jamon croquettes, which were insane.
A little cold there.
Yes. Actually a little more than a little cold because it was 54 degrees Fahrenheit, but it felt like 44. In an effort to hide from the freezing weather, we went inside to Cycle Planet for coffee and breakfast, and the donut was the best thing I've had in a very long time. We kind of hid out in the coffee shop for a little while and like read our books and like did some admin before walking around the rest of the town, and then we fell upon another little cafe to sit down on for a vermouth, a glass of wine, a beer, and some papas bravas.
So it might be a little bit colder than I promised, Quartz.
Stop making jokes to the camera.
Wow.
It's embarrassing.
Wow.
Whoa, look at that flag. Sorry, Dad, like, you want to talk about that?
I was driving. Cold? Who loves you?
So after our tapas lunch, we headed up to Es Verger. It was an old barbecue restaurant at the very tip top of this mountain. As you can see from my face, it was a very windy road, which was not fun. Tyler just wanted me to see it because this is one of the first places he went on his first time visiting the island. But it had changed a lot since he'd last been there, and it was super busy. We decided to head up to Valdemossa. This is during the week when both of us had finished our work for the day. We kind of just popped up and walked around and explored the town and had a bit of lunch here. This was kind of a cold day as well. It turned out to be a bit gloomy and rainy in the afternoon, so it wasn't the most ideal for filming, but we still managed to happen across a very cute boutique grocery store that had a nice little deli, and we got some delicious sandwiches, and I think Tyler got a pie.
What you got?
It is salami queso con tomates.
Oh no.
Was really craving a hot chocolate, so we popped into this another actually boutique grocery store and just had a hot chocolate, like literally one hot chocolate. It was cold and rainy, so it just hit the spot. Another midday break outing. This is quite a long scene of me struggling to lock this door. It's not just this door, it's a lot of doors I struggle with. We didn't have keys for our front door growing up. We had like a keypad for the garage. We just went through the garage, so I never really had a lot of practice with keys. So this is embarrassing, but this is real.
It's never been this hard.
Mallorca may not be world-renowned for its wine region, but there are some very nice wines that get produced in this area. We popped into Sa Cabana winery and we tasted a few of their varietals. The first one I tasted was the pink Cabernet Sauvignon, which seems contradictory. If you've ever had a Cab Sav, they are normally red in color. This wine was so fruity and so fresh and crisp. It was easily one of my favorites. I sampled a glass of the Valldemossa, which is 100% Caille, and it has A pleasant tannin, well balanced, and the palate is dry and fresh. When I was looking at these clips, I couldn't stop looking at how good my nails looked, and I wanted to link the manicurist who did the best manicure I've had maybe in my entire life. Her name is Shelly. It's at Balear Cosmetics near Port Adriana. These are the wines they all make in-house. We ended up buying a few bottles. My favorite was the first one, Salgria, and the pink Cab Sav.
Boogity boogity boop. First in the group, Courtney Villion Wilkins said butter is a schmooky schmook. Reply to the
Which
group.
she is.
Yes.
What do you want to say to St. Francis?
Boogity 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 boo boo. Boogity 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 boo boo boo.
Your WhatsApp message says poo poo boogie boogie poo poo poo. Do you want to send it or change it?
Send. Oh.
As we got closer to the holidays, we were doing some shopping, so we headed into Palma. These pastries are at Fica Farina, which is the shop I'm sitting outside of here. I loved this photo, but it kind of got messed up when it got developed because I went through too many scanners at the airport. Just a warning for all those who travel with film. Right before the holidays, we planned a one-night trip to Barcelona, which is just a 35-minute flight from Palma, and we took a paella cooking class, which was so fun. Tyler and I made the artichoke veggie paella, which was delicious. It was a cooking class of like 6 other couples maybe, and everyone got to taste everyone's paella, and there was complimentary kava and dancing. The instructor was Irish. It was such a blast. I'll link the booking in the description so you guys can book as well. Literally got back from Barcelona like 28 hours later and headed straight to hike our favorite area in Puigpunyent, and then of course went to Mercat, our actual favorite place in Mallorca, for sticky date, toffee pudding, and espresso. I mean, look at that. A perk of being in Europe in the wintertime is Christmas markets. This is the Porto Portal's Christmas market, which is one of the best in Mallorca. We got the raclette toast with bacon. Oh, it was so good. Another one of our favorite spots that Tyler introduced me to is Bar Nicola, which is a gin bar. They give the best snacks with their drinks. One of my favorites is they give you gummy bears with your gin and tonic, which is such an odd pairing, but it's so right. For dinner that night, we tried Riquito, which is a pasta and Southern Italian restaurant. It was so good. And here we are again, back in the car, en route for another mission. Today we are heading up to near Soye again, actually, but we're taking a different route along the coast and doing a hiking trail that is in Banyalbufar.
Booty boots. Oh, God. These goats. These goats. Pretty goats. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Whoa. Hands up.
Hands up? What do you mean?
Like hands up, like woo.
Oh. These villages were super quiet this time of year, so it was actually kind of hard to find a place to grab coffee and something to eat, but we did tuck into some place that was along a popular cycling trail, and we did see a couple cyclists stop by, and it's actually so wild to think about how far people are cycling in a day, and they stop for maybe like 15-20 minutes and they eat a quick piece of cake and like maybe a sandwich and like down a coffee, and then they're back on the bike. So kudos to them.
hello.
Alert, alert, if you're with us on Dog Watch, this is dog number 3. This was the hiking spot today. It is called Volta de General, with incredible views. We really enjoyed this walk. Maybe one of our favorites of the trip. It wasn't too cold, it wasn't crowded at all, which was wild.
I don't know, maybe. Can you? Just give me the seating spots. Okay. On a paraglide.
Oh, it's so far away, I can't see it.
Grab one there. Pick it up and use it. Alright, it was more like just pick it up. Do this, but now I'm going to.
We stopped over in Daya after the hike and got a front row seat to this intriguing Spanish bus trying to navigate its way downhill, and these cars just reversing down the hill and then creeping by. It was a wild sight. Just before sunset, we headed to Caia Dea, which you might recognize from this photo. It's a very popular destination in the summertime, but it's kind of deserted in the winter. We did meet this friendly cat, however, that definitely brightened up our day.
He's a better petter, I think.
Hi there. Oh.
On the road again, spotted some goats on our way to the sunset spot for the evening. Tyler found this spot and it is insane. It's this really huge open air patio that overlooks the sea and the mountains, and you get this insane view of the sunset. It's unbelievable, truly, and there was no one there. Obviously it was cold in winter time, and it's not super nice to sit outside when it's cold and windy, but I mean, the view was worth the chill. Once the sun finally dipped into the sea, we headed out for date night. First, we checked into our hotel. I got 0 shots of our hotel. It's called Alcazar Hotel Soye, and it's right in town near one of the train stations, so it's very easy access. Remember that trail I said we've done 2 or 3 times? Here's us doing it again, I think for the 2nd time. We'll do it one more time when his mom comes to visit, but we were actually walking the wrong direction. That's probably why there's no one on the trail, but we still enjoyed the views. One of the reasons we decided to come up to Soleil and Binairaix this weekend was because of Tommy's Pizza pop-up. He is a British pizza chef and he does pop-ups all around Mallorca, and we've been to a couple of them at Bodega Binairaix, and it's always a good time. We are back in Palma and we popped into the Con coffee shop specifically because of this bacon, egg, and pancake dish. I saw it on Instagram and knew it had to be mine. Tyler got the Turkish eggs and was hungry really quickly after, so we went to the market and he got anchovies and yummy Mallorcan bread. It's not a visit to Mallorca without getting an ensaimada, and I got a big one for our Christmas celebration with Tyler's mom. I popped into one of my favorite stores, Rialto Living, to grab a snack while I was shopping up a storm. On Christmas morning, we took a nice walk to the beach in Santa Ponsa while we waited for Tyler's mom's flight to arrive.
Vad är det together? Ja.
Ja, det är together. What's happening?
We're gonna open the drink.
Alright, Tyler, you're gonna have to put your head, Tyler, you're gonna put your head here, you can stay there, and I'll be there, okay?
Okay.
Putting on the timer.
For Alita's first day, we headed up to Port de Soleil for lunch and to enjoy the beautiful weather. We ducked into Via Luisa for lunch, which was so nice because we could sit out on the terrace and watch the tram go by. I ordered a pesto pasta that brought me to my knees. On day 2 with Tyler's mom, we headed up to Valdemossa, where we met dogs 4 and 5. We walked around the town and ended up having lunch with a view at this terrace that you would have seen earlier in the video. Me too. I know. On day 3, we got to Puigpunyent, which is one of our favorite little areas for our favorite hike, and of course, a lovely lunch at Mercat. Mercat sometimes does theme days, and today's was English pub classics with a twist. It was so good. Another favorite coffee spot in Palma is Surrey Hills. It's an Australian coffee spot. We went there on New Year's Eve day and we walked around town. It was such a fun day. It was gorgeous weather. We got a cocktail on this rooftop bar by the port. We managed to snag a late night dinner reservation at Riquita, which was the truffle night. So it was like 2 truffle pastas and a truffle pizza. We were there at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and we took some nice photos, and then we got to watch the fireworks right over the harbor. It was gorgeous. And then we booked it out of there immediately at 12:01 so we can get a taxi and not have to wait around all night. New Year's Day was bittersweet as we dropped off Tyler's mom at the airport, but we got to explore this whole new part of town and had this beach all to ourselves. It wouldn't be our last day in Mallorca if we didn't go back to Puigpunyent and back to Mercat, and we had our classic smash burger and Caesar salad. And that was it. Those were our 6 weeks in Mallorca. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.